I'm in a small village near my hometown. Look at this. That is not something we see a lot here. I guess there's a wedding reception going on. The castle. Fall has started, clearly. As you can tell, the leaves are starting to change color. It's a little horsey. I even scared the horses. What the hell? The horse just laid down. I hope he's okay. Yeah, I've seen enough TikToks of people kind of panicking when horses are laying down, but you know, they gotta sleep too. They like their naps like anybody else. Tractor. This is probably going to be one of the last good days that I can just run around in this weather. Before we know it, it's going to be cold again. And I'll need like 5 or 6 layers. Totally not exaggerating. In any case, in today's video, I want to talk about traveling and some of the locations I want to visit in the next few years. Because in the last video, I was talking about leaving Belgium and wanting to travel. Sure, where am I going to go? And I have like a list of countries or things or trips rather that I would like to do. My bucket list, so to speak. Before I kick the bucket, I wanted to share that list with you guys. The first one is going to be maybe a bit of an obvious one if you've been following me and if you know my content, and that's actually Greece. I've been to Greece plenty of times, but this one is different. So this is the castle. There's a few of them around the neighborhood. There's plenty of castles around here actually. I don't know if it's smart for me to walk down this road because I'm just wearing sneakers. You know, let's go have a look. So yeah, Greece. What I actually want to do in Greece is island hop. Up till now, when I was a kid, I did visit a lot of the mainland. I think if you're not familiar with Greece, it has a ton of islands. I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot. And yeah, I've been to Crete, and when I was a kid, I did visit some other islands, but ever since I'm an adult, the only places I've been is Crete. So I want to go and start off on the mainland and just go from one island to the other, using the ferries that are the way of transport between these islands. And just stay on some islands for 1 or 2 days, move on to the next, and try to do as many as possible, because they all are equally beautiful. They are very different depending on how far north or south they are. Some might be very similar to Crete, and others are very, very different. So I want to see that. That is the first one. Really looking forward to doing that one day. And hopefully soon. This castle is a lot bigger, or at least the domain on which the castle is set, than I initially realized. The second destination is actually pretty close to home too, yet it isn't. It's something that I already did in a way, but not as big as I want to do it. And that's basically a tour to the bigger part of Europe. And I'm not talking Scandinavia, that is something separately. That is not really on top of my list, but I know Hilda wants to do that. And I want to visit those countries, maybe on a separate basis, one by one, for a shorter time. Because, you know, I'm not good with cold. But yeah, definitely want to see those countries, but it's not going to be one lengthy trip. And when it comes to Europe, I want to kind of do a tour through all of Western and Southern Europe and visit as many countries as possible, because if you travel through the United States, there's all these different sceneries, all these different kind of cultures, so to speak. I've seen some amazing things in the States I'll be talking about in a minute, and I was very impressed by that. And then I started thinking we kind of have the same thing in Europe. It's just spread all over the different countries that we have in Europe. We have a lot of different countries with all kinds of traditions, cultures, and different landscapes. You just need to travel through different countries. So that is something I want to do. I don't know how far east I would go, especially now. Let's just say that the climate, politically speaking, is not favorable to go too far east. I definitely would go all the way south. And I think the Netherlands, maybe Denmark, would be the northern tip. But just do a whole tour and talk to people. This is about as Flemish a landscape you'll ever see. Clouds, a lot of fields, not a single hill or mountain in sight. I was thinking that there was a statue here, but it's not a statue, it's actually the gate. Look at that. That is one classic looking gate. I'm impressed. I've been here before, but it's been ages. Okay, so number 3 is something I already did 6-7 years ago together with Hilda. It's one of the most memorable trips I've ever done, and I want to repeat that trip, but one big difference. I want to repeat that trip that we did on the West Coast. We did a whole tour, started out in Los Angeles, drove down to Palm Springs, into Utah, up north, kind of nicked, and stopped in Vegas, Nevada, and then up to San Francisco, down to Los Angeles. This time around I want to kind of expand that tour and take my time, because last time we did it in, I'm not going to say even 3 weeks. It was slightly over 2 weeks, and it was way too fast. So I want to do that trip again, but longer, and take my time. So I can, we went to some amazing spots, but some national parks that blew me away, but that I basically only got to drive through. So I want to take the time, spend a few days in some of these national parks and some of these cities. But along the road also meet some people and, make it into an adventure on all levels. Really looking forward to doing that. I hope to do that somewhere in the next few years. Look at those mushrooms on the tree. Do we call them elfenbankjes in Dutch? I don't know what they call them in English. Little translation for elfenbankje is seed for an elf. Come on. Can't do any better than that, right? But yeah, that US trip is really high up on the list. But the decision if that is going to be happening anytime soon is going to be made in a few weeks, to be fair. I think the whole of the world will be looking at the States November 4th, and we'll see what comes out of that. But for me personally, that is definitely going to influence my decision. The next item on my list is slightly predictable. I think it is on a lot of people's lists ever since Lord of the Rings was released. When I saw those landscapes in that movie, it opened my eyes to the beauty that is New Zealand. Ever since we've learned more and more about that country and the culture, the native culture especially, and it only has made me more keen to travel down there and see that country. I would maybe combine it with Australia. I definitely want to go to Australia one day, but I think New Zealand is definitely higher up on the list, and it is a trip that I would like to take my time for, to kind of see all of it properly. And that is probably, to be honest, one of the countries that has been on the list the longest, but that might take a while to get around to. We'll see. It all kind of depends on how my career will pan out in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years. If everything pans out like I want it to pan out, I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling, and New Zealand is going to jump up in my calendar There's no way of predicting that. This is just a small forest, but it reminds me of why I love spending time in nature and just these kind of moments. I miss that. As a Cub Scout, I used to spend so much time in the woods and just running around, and it's a cliche, but I wish I would have appreciated it more back in the day, because I miss doing this. Look at this. And that is the backside of the castle. Little shed. Does not look creepy at all. There's so many of these types of castles all over Flanders, just in general. I think this is now public property. It's owned by the local council now. Hello, Mr. Sheep. Mr. Sheep. They look extremely happy. I think this is going to be the garden. There's that classic garden look. Look at this, man. I had no idea that was here. What the hell? I'm genuinely surprised by all of this. This is like a 6-minute drive from my home. Damn, I'm really happy I parked the car and just decided to come down here. Okay, so after some research, the whole kind of estate has been here since 1400s, so a long time ago. But the castle itself was rebuilt somewhere in 1892 because the previous castle had burned down. So this castle has been here since 1892, and the whole kind of estate has been sold over and over again. It's not stuck to one family. And it was bought by the local council, I think about 15 years ago or something. And now there's a restaurant inside, they do weddings, and it's open to the public. But anyways, let me continue my list, or finish it rather. It's not like it's the number one on my list, but it is the last one for the list. And that also has been on that list for a really long time. And that's Japan. That country has always fascinated me. The people, the culture, the difference in landscapes and climate going from north to south, the history. Does this remind you of some Harry Potter scene or something? Maybe something went wrong in the botology class. Look at this stairway. God damn. Looks like a greenhouse. It had a glass roof. Yeah. And it has glass paneling on the side. One of the trees is just growing out of it. Nature reclaiming. A chimney to heat the place up. I presume it was something like an orangerie, which is a place where they kept their plants during winter that couldn't survive outside. They look bigger from behind. Is that weird? Yeah, that sounds weird. They're still renovating a lot of the extra buildings. Look at that. It's the Pigeon Tower. So basically that's a pigeon coop. But yeah, like I said, I want to go to Japan. I might kind of want to combine it with South Korea. And you know, maybe one day, who knows, I get to go to China. I definitely want to see China someday, but not right now. Not anytime soon. think that is the last family that used to own it privately. And right there is a restaurant. I thought it was a wedding party, but it's a restaurant where you can have lunch. And yeah, that was the castle grounds. This is so typically European. These ornamental bridges. By the way, if you like my sweater, I'm selling those on my merch store. This is the Deemzies metal shirt. I've been putting a lot of stuff on there, and it's been selling pretty good. So if you want to get your hands on those, check them out. I'll leave a link below. But for now, that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure give it a thumbs up. As always, it helps me out. And leave a comment and make sure to subscribe, because I'm going to be back with a new video next week. Till then, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye-bye. Quaint little church. I would go in, but yeah, those places scare me.